I have to say, Joanna, I think we have the worst luck timing the release of a brand new creative project together and the state of the world.
It's like every single time we were like, oh my God, this is the week where we drop our first episode, something crazy happens.
Without fail. Either
Without
personal
fail.
or globally.
The first like 7 were personal.
Yeah. And then a president got shot at.
And the president got shot at. And then a president said, I'm not going to run for president. And then I remember telling you, like, Kris, I think things are looking on up in the world. And then Venezuela was like, just kidding. We're going to create an even worse crisis here so that you can't think of anything else.
And now you be funny.
Well, let's be real. I became funny because of all the trauma.
That's true. Yeah. Out of jokes and
Yes.
attention. No, you're not joking, though. 2 weeks before this all came into the news, you were like, I feel like an inner peace I haven't felt in years. I feel so calm and like comfortable with who I am and the skin I live in. And then suddenly this happened.
I literally verbatim said that to you.
Yeah, and then every
verbatim said
post
that to
on
you.
Instagram is you having a panic attack while driving a car.
You know what? That's what happens to me. I think the world can't fuck. Like, every person adds a particular element of energy in the world, and my energy it just needs to be chaotic for the world to be in balance. Well, this isn't about me, but like I feel like the world.
You're very much making Venezuela about you. Which I mean, look, your channel, your rules. We can do what you want, but it is a touch egotistical.
God. It's just ever so slightly egotistical. It's all about how my energy in the universe crafts and it's so stupid. But God, I'm the dumbest person alive.
Good show.
Kris and Joanna are close friends with nothing in common. To start a weekly conversation, they ask, "Can I have a word?"
You probably didn't even know where Venezuela was on a map when you met me.
Yeah, we did a video at Flama about finding countries on the map, and I'm pretty sure I did not get Venezuela correct.
I think you put Venezuela like in Mexico.
I knew better than to put it in Central America. I knew
Okay.
it was South America. I do think that there's a clump of them in like the upper left corner that are confusing to me.
A lot of people put Venezuela in the Caribbean.
Oh, really?
Yeah, anyway, I was offended, low-key, when I was like 25 and I realized no one knew where my country was. But now I'm like, bro, I can't find Angola. Like, it's fine. But it is sort of like this, a constant part of my existence where it's like a piece of me isn't fully present at any time when things are really, really bad there. And it's funny because it comes in waves where I'm like, you know what? I think I know I'm Venezuelan. I represent Venezuela in my own way, and I can move on and I can live my life and it's okay. And you just have to move forward. And then I'm proven otherwise when really bad things happen and it becomes destabilized again. I find myself just very overwhelmed and overcome with emotion. But like, it's funny because I was recording a commercial I was like doing the voiceover for a commercial last week.
Yeah.
And there are these very perfectly nice Argentinian guys like giving me direction in a very Argentinian way. Like, Argentinians are really like, oh, that was shit. Try it not sounding like such an asshole. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's and I'm like, okay, I have Argentinian friends. I know that like they're very, direct.
Yeah, I'm not taking this too personally.
Not too personally, but then a Venezuelan logged on and he started talking like in a Venezuelan accent, and I literally my body, I don't know what happened, my body like just like reacted in like a way of just pure emotion, and I started like crying. Like,
oh no.
And I tried to hide it, but the camera was like right on my face, right? Because the camera is right on my face, so you see like dramatic tears falling down my face, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, excuse me. And then he started crying, and then we started crying, and then the Argentinians were like, yeah.
So anyway, spicy chicken nuggets are what we're doing the commercial about right now.
And they were like, yeah, it must be terrible. Anyway, and I'm like, yeah, I understand. I don't expect them to understand fully. But
yeah, it's a lot to ask for people to feel as personally affected by the world because it is your world and you want people to be knowledgeable and not ignorant. But yeah, in that moment, you guys are experiencing something emotional together that others couldn't quite understand.
Bro, and there's some ignorant. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Kris,
Please.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
There's two types of ignorant people, right?
Yeah.
So the type of ignorant person that I actually vibe with are the ignorant people that say, yo, I'm fucking ignorant, dude. I don't know. And when you're ignorant about something, that's you. You're like, I literally have no idea what you're talking about.
You can't
I'm an idiot.
expect a good answer out of me, so I won't fake it.
Yeah. But then there's the type of ignorant that is, I think, the worst thing in the world. It is an ignorant that's like, I actually know what I'm talking about. And that is, for me, the hardest part of living through what, you know.
You're very comfortable in an improv environment with somebody yes-anding their way through a situation, but you don't need them to do it when there are actual stakes to the knowledge they're suggesting.
Yeah, and a lot of what's happening now on Twitter and even like in person, it happened to me in a meeting, is like people just assuming they understand what's going on in your world and being like, oh yeah, for sure it's a U.S. coup. And I'm like, actually, we fucked up our own country. That's actually kind of condescending for you to assume that Latin America can't ruin itself.
Yeah.
like how dare you? Like, it's like, no, we have a dictatorship. This dictatorship is literally a narco government that is entrenched in a lot of illegal activity. The poverty levels have gotten to the levels that they have, not because of U.S. sanctions, but because of how the government has managed its money and stolen its money. And it's like, why do I have to keep educating? But one thing that now that I'm an older lady, I'll educate when people ask me or when people matter to me. But otherwise, I'm like, you're an idiot. So I'm out. Like I learned my lesson.
We've clearly not been trying to teach for clicks in a long time.
Bro, I'm not trying. I'm trying to teach my friends. I'm trying to teach people that I think I really, really highly respect. And I'm trying to make Venezuelans feel not alone and like accompanied. But like Cindy from fucking Wisconsin claiming that, you know, Maduro's on the right side of history. Cindy can go fuck herself. I don't care. Have her go back to her job at K Jewelers and think that she's right. And I don't give a shit. I don't care about her. She's not going to change the world. If she's curious, then I'll inform her. But if she's really has already made her decision, then I'm going to be like, yeet. Did you like that? I use yeet.
Yeah. Proving once again that we still know how to connect to the youth. Hey, Joanna, when's the last time we actually made things together? It's been a few years, I would say, at this point.
It's definitely been a few years, and I'm very proud of us that we've kept our friendship going, even without a project, because I think our friendship from the get-go was literally crafted around us making stuff together.
We are two tradesmen that, without having to communicate to one another verbally, know the needs that one another needs from us to make a thing.
Yeah, we're like sailors. We're like pirates. What?
Yeah.
We're on a ship of life.
Sure.
And you're like, pass me the rope. And I'm like, I got you, bro. But if there's no rope to be passed, we're like, so, scurvy, what's up?
I don't know anything about scurvy. It's like, you're a pirate. Should you know a little bit about scurvy? And it's like, well, I'm a straight white man. I'm entitled to be ignorant.
And then I'm like, all right. And then I go to the dock and never talk to you again.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The point being is that in all these years that we have not been making things together, our conversations tend to orbit around things that we have previously talked about versus talking about new things.
Correct.
And then we had an idea, which was to simply make our friendship work again.
Literally. Make it be a responsibility that we put in a Google Calendar. And we're like, God, no, I can't go to this party. I have to record this thing.
But the good news is that I think you and I can talk about anything all day, which is where Can I Have a Word shows up. So if you've clicked on this video, you started watching it or listened to this podcast, you may have seen a title that might be confusing to you. But let me tell you right now, there's nothing clever about it. It is just... Can one of us give the other a word and talk?
A randomly generated word. We can find it in a book. We can find it in a word generator. It doesn't really matter.
So as soon as Joanna asks me the question, you'll get a lovely musical cue and we will start.
Can you imagine if I was like, wait, what's the question again?
It's in the title. It's in the branding. We just labeled how fucking simple it is.
Let me just like perform the shit out of this though. 1 second. Can I have a word?
You went mildly British.
You don't know where I am, but I'm a fancy woman. Like, I'm a fancy woman in, like, the Victorian era. I think that was what I was going for.
And whatever you have been doing, you're slightly out of breath near the end of that. So your cardio isn't up.
No, I mean, it's Victorian era. I've never done cardio, and I probably have a lung disease, so.
The word for us, is trick.
Trick. Okay, there's so many different definitions. What comes into your mind first?
I think of trick in the mischievous way immediately. which maybe is telling about my personality.
Oh my God, me too, Chris. This is why
Yeah,
we're
I think
friends.
about getting one over on somebody or convincing somebody of a story that's not real. Trick, to me, makes it like not a big deal whether it succeeded or failed and not that harmful. So I think about it as like low stakes, mischievous nature.
Like low stakes fucking over someone.
Well, wait, now fucking over someone feels a touch more abrasive than what I had in mind. Do you have a trick that is calling to that made you think fucking over someone that's like already on your mind?
Here's the thing. There's a difference between a trick and a prank.
Yes.
And I'm not sure if what I'm about to say is a trick or a prank. But I remember when we were working at Flama, you left your...
Oh, yeah, I was very angry
You
about
left
this.
your... what is it called?
Tupperware. It's like, the container that held my lunch.
You left your Tupperware in your office, and me and another coworker, we got permanent glue and feathers and glitter and like made your Tupperware look like it could have been an extra in a Prince music video, and you didn't get upset, but you also weren't happy. But was that a trick or was that
I just think that was some bullshit. But I don't remember. You know what? It was not the actual act that made me angry. The context was that like it was a newly acquired set of things for my partner and I. It was like we're growing up. This isn't just gonna be takeout containers anymore. We're going to buy real things that we plan to keep. And then the first day I brought it to work, it got vandalized.
Oh, I guess the word is vandalized. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's not really that clever. It's just a bunch of marker and ruining property.
That is.
But in hindsight, it was stupid, which is what I always approve of.
So maybe that's vandalism.
So we're gonna build. So in this episode, we're gonna build ourselves a spectrum and chart of like what is trick to what is a con.
Right. What is a con? Absolutely.
Is a trick just an ingredient to a con, the way a task is an ingredient to a project? We don't know. We're gonna decipher this together.
And and then like a scam. Like is a scam a trick? Because it is ultimately.
Yes, but I think it falls on the spectrum of con because it's disingenuous right out of the gate with ill intent. Man, I sound like a lawyer right now. I say no one says ill intent in casual conversation.
Who the fuck are you,
know.
Chris?
I don't know.
I always felt like your house was haunted, and no offense, and like particularly in the attic, and I think that a lawyer died in your attic and just like took over your body.
Wait, why do you think my attic's haunted? You've been to my home before. It's just a suburb of New Jersey.
You know me. I'm scared of houses built before 1984.
I didn't know, but you grew up in Boston.
Boston, the house I lived in when I was a kid was a new townhouse. My house in Venezuela was a new apartment. I've never really lived in old buildings or buildings built before 1984.
So you hear a floorboard creak and you're just nervous about paranormal events.
I don't know if I believe in paranormal events, but if a paranormal event is going to happen, it's not going to be a place with granite countertops. It's going to be in a place where the floor creaks and you have a little attic with weird heights in every place, and you don't know what happened, and I'm sure people kept stuff in there, and maybe like someone died in the house and kept their stuff in there and their energy's up there.
We're not in the generation yet where the ghosts of the people that have passed were like house flippers from HGTV or something, who will then start haunting all of the project houses, just like offering gray tone wood boards for the flooring.
Once the house flippers showed up, I think we were safe. I think the ghosts were like, I don't want to live through a remodel. You know how long those take? And then the ghosts like yeet out of there. Once you remodel, the ghost is like, I can't handle contractors. I think I gotta go.
I mean, if shaman doubled as like carpenters, or like priest would double as carpenters, they could really, really exercise bad taste and ghosts.
Well, wasn't Jesus a carpenter?
Yes, Jesus was a carpenter.
And I don't know, man.
A to B to C to D. Tricks.
On the spectrum of trick or treat, which, we're talking about ghosts, trick or treat I think is the lightest.
Absolutely.
It's not even a trick. It's like a really cute warning that you might be tricked if you don't give them a treat.
It's a cutesy threat.
It's a cute threat. It's literally trick or treat, like give me a treat or I'm gonna trick you. And
yeah,
I don't think an 8-year-old dressed as Dora is gonna do something too bad to me. So there's that.
Or is even like prepared for what trick they would do if somebody called their bluff.
Yeah, I think they would just start crying. So I think we're all good. You know what I mean? I think we're all good.
They immediately just break down and they trick you to emotionally suddenly care about this kid, and then you give them a Hershey bar.
Hey, look at this. You trick children into thinking that really horrible things are cute. Like, ring around the rosy. Like, it's okay. Ashes, we're all going to die anyway. And then it's like, I guess it can't be that bad if you're singing it like this, falsetto.
Can you imagine that logic extending to adulthood, and like a doctor walks into the office, you've been in the ER with something you're unclear of, and they just says, well, ring around the rosy. Oh no, I got the plague.
You got the black plague.
If you gave musical cues to every diagnosis.
I kind of would love that. Honestly, I would. You know that I break out into song a little bit too much.
Yes. That's tamed down in your years.
I don't know. It comes in waves, dude.
Like, it takes a particular vibe for me to hit it, but I do hit it.
I hit it pretty regularly, actually.
Yeah,
a little bit too much.
Yeah, there it is.
So that's like the softest form of trick, right? Like,
yes, not even an expectation. It's more of just like lip service to the innocence of trick.
when I think of another trick, I think of like lying to get yourself out of taking a test. Like, you tricked your teacher into you know what I mean? Like, deceit.
Something that becomes more advantageous to succeed with.
Just like how trick or treat is sort of established in that sentence. It's like,
Yeah.
I feel like a trick usually comes with something for you in return. Like, I tricked my way into this.
What's your example of like the most deliberate one of those that you've tried to do? Because I have mine.
Okay, no, you do yours, because I can't think of mine right now.
My first job was working at a car wash, and there would be 6 a.m. morning meetings because the car wash opened at 7. So like once a month, all of the staff had to meet at 6 before it opened to like do this meeting. I hated this meeting because I never was up that early. And one day I completely overslept it. And it was a thing of like, if you miss these, you're going to like get fired. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm 16. I'm like, I think this job's important or whatever. So my excuse for how to get out of it was I was going to trick all of them that my car had broken down blocks away. And to do this, I parked my car blocks away from the car wash.
And
then
ran?
just like, and then I ripped a part out of it.
Oh, you did? You ripped a
Yes.
part of your car? Chris,
Yes.
that's a trick on yourself.
Because everybody that works at a car wash, if they're an adult that works at the car wash, has some familiarity with cars. And I knew that if I was going to try this deceit, that somebody would offer to bring me back to my car and then help me fix it, because I'm a teenager that can't afford a tow truck or whatever. And so I didn't even look at what part I ripped. I go to the meeting, I'm huffing and puffing, I'm all late, and right away the manager's like not buying it because I'm a theater kid, so he knows performance is a part of the deal.
Yeah.
But he offered to drive me back to my car, so he drove me back to the car, and he's like, well, let's look under the hood and see what's going on. And he pops up the hood, and he's just like, did you just rip a hose out? Like, it was so clear to him right away that whatever damage had been done was super deliberate, and
my
I just
God, Chris.
I just like crumpled. I was like, I don't know, man. I mean, I parked under a tree with some birds,
Oh, my God.
so maybe. Like, so if you tell me a deceit where I was trying to get something out of it immediately, I think of that moment as like one of the more cringy things I thought I could get away with as a youth.
That's not a trick. That's like a truc.
What?
I'm
Wait,
gonna
wait, wait.
I'm gonna create a new word where it's like when you try to trick someone and it's so bad and it fails, it's a truc.
This is a parallel definition to trick. It's not
Yeah.
along the spectrum. It's just embarrassing.
It's just so cringe, dude. I can't believe you did that. That's the worst thing I've ever heard, honestly.
No way.
Okay. No, it's not the worst thing. It's not the worst thing.
Don't be hyperbolic. We're gonna say worse things probably in one episode.
Okay. So like that trick is sort of like, okay, you were lying.
Yeah.
The intention wasn't bad. The intention was sort of to cover your own ass, right? But then
Yeah,
there's
sure.
like,
But it's selfish.
then
yes.
there's like bad intention. My dishwasher was broken and I got a number of a dishwasher repairman, and he came up and he looked like he was wearing a Halloween costume of a plumber or whatever. And I was like, this guy doesn't look like a plumber. Like, a plumber needs to look like a plumber.
It's also so easy to look like a plumber. It's not like,
Yeah.
it's like crazy to like, if it looks so fake, that feels like they went out of their way to make it look
It's
fake.
so bad. It was, they Chris Knighted it. They were like, oh, hey, what's up? I parked 2 blocks down the street.
All right.
I don't know what
I
happened,
was
man.
16.
This guy looked 16. Anyway, he like tried to trick me into believing he was a plumber and then charged me $100 to do nothing and then like ran out of my house.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's like evil, but it isn't like horrible. It's like shitty.
I like that we have both given examples that were dumb. Like, we're not celebrating anything that, like, successfully did it. Instead, we're kind of highlighting the things where it's like, somebody thinks they're more clever than what they are, and my story being me, and your story being this guy, and that, like, what we remember about it was how stupid it was.
Yeah. If I close my eyes and you say the word trick, I imagine the Joker on, like, a playing card.
It's something like a little winky, little pointy.
Yeah. And look, I just Googled what a trickster is.
Oh, okay.
This really creepy image of like a devil Joker comes up, and it says a trickster is a character in a story who exhibits a great degree of intellect or secret knowledge and uses it to play tricks or otherwise disobey normal rules and defy conventional behavior. So tricksters, like, it doesn't seem negative is my point.
I'll give you an example that in my practical life that I used to do that was actually really helpful, which is when I was first working as like a freelancer and stuff, I would pretend to be an entire production company.
Oh, yeah.
With clients.
That's smart.
I made 3 email accounts, one that was the director, me, one that was the producer, a fake me, and one that was the editor, a fake me. And I would create faux conversations and email threads of me talking to one another so that clients thought it was a full team. And that way, when I asked for a higher budget, I got it because they saw there was a team to feed, not just one person.
Okay, what I'm noticing in this conversation is that you're a con man. Every story is like, I have just a little story. I created an entire fake business and siphoned money away from a bank account. I'm not good at that type of trickster behavior.
You're really earnest.
It's honestly embarrassing. Like, there'll be days where I'm very upset and I'm like, I gotta go to the office and just pretend everything is okay, and I think I'm killing it, and people are like, are you okay? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Of course I'm okay. Like, I'm too in my own feelings, I think, to be. Yeah. But I will say that when I get in trouble, like I don't know.
You're like doing a catalog right now of like, what shit can I say publicly? What shit can I say publicly?
More than that, it's like, yes. Like, I got stopped by a traffic cop a few years ago because I was speeding. I didn't notice, but I was speeding like a psychopath.
Give me a number. Give me a number.
I think I was going like 80 something, and it was like a 55. It was like really bad. I was really young. I was in college still. And the guy stops me and is very mean to me. It's like very mean.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, I could cry. I don't have to. And I'm like, I'm going to start crying.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't notice. And it's not that like I used it. That feeling did bubble up in me. Like, I felt so bad. I could have been more of an adult and been like, Joanna, don't fucking cry. You made a mistake. Just like, deal with it. But like the emotion did bubble up, and I sort of like leaned in, and it didn't help at all, by the way. I got like 5 points taken off of my license, and I had to like go to court. But
yeah, he was not buying it.
He was absolutely not buying it. But I do feel like I tend to get things by like I'll be checking into a hotel and I know I could probably get an upgrade, and I like start talking to them about something, and genuinely I enjoy the conversation, and then it just so happens that I get an upgrade. So like, I do trick my way.
It's interesting though, because like when I hear that, it's like I certainly hear like leveraging, like taking a position, getting familiar, and then using that to your advantage. But I don't know, trick still just like has this the tackiness on that word for me is like a playful, a ruse, like some sort of reveal at the end that it's like, wasn't that too funny?
Right, because I feel like a trick doesn't destroy some, like I did it, me getting an upgrade is that person has no financial or emotional attachment to that upgrade. It's not like I stole their credit card, right? But I do think like Rupert Murdoch's victims, the guy that stole all of those people's like savings.
That's not Rupert Murdoch.
Oh, sorry.
Rupert Murdoch's Fox News.
Oh my God, sorry. I just listened to the Daily about Rupert Murdoch, and that's who's in my head.
Yeah.
Do you think all of Bernie Madoff's victims are like, God, that guy tricked me? And for context, Bernie Madoff stole millions of dollars in a Ponzi scheme from a bunch of quote unquote investors that they weren't investing in anything. It was just a Ponzi scheme. It was all fake. And then it all came tumbling down, and hundreds of people like lost all their life savings. Do you think they're like, God, that motherfucker tricked me?
I mean, maybe, but I feel like that's the spectrum, right? That goes to con. It's so clearly at large scale an intent to like convince you otherwise that you like fell victim to it. Whereas like, I don't know, in my head when I think of trick, I think of like my 2-year-old daughter saying she didn't dirty her diaper. And then when I see she did, I said, did you lie? And she said, I would never. Like, that's the extent of what I think a trick is.
That's a trick. Isn't it funny that there was a guy called Ponzi and he was such a fucking asshole and he created such a fraud, a scheme and a fraud that then they were like, we gotta call it after this guy's last name. Lou Gehrig's disease, Ponzi scheme. Like, these poor people. Like, God, well, Ponzi deserved it. Is the most evil form of trick within the trick, is that a prank?
Yeah. Wasn't there like a whole era of YouTube that was just prank videos?
Yeah, but they were like...
Where like it became like this like college age bro thing. I don't know. For some reason, it's not the same thing, but it pairs very closely to when icing people was all the rage.
Wait, what was icing people?
You like convinced them, I think, to like look at a Smirnoff Ice, and then they had to drink a Smirnoff Ice. It's like a bro activity.
I did a senior prank in high school, and it was fine. We all just jumped into the pool. There were no victims, you know?
Wait, was that it?
Yeah. I was like, guys, I have a great idea. Let's all jump into the pool at lunch. And then the principal was in the pool in a floaty. Like, oh my God, I heard you guys were going to jump into the pool. That sounds like fun. I thought I was such a badass. Anyway.
That is so... just a nothing burger dead on arrival.
Just absolutely nothing. But I really have a bad... If I sense someone is not having a good time or stressed or I implode. Yeah. I get so anxious. One time... I think this is a trick. What I did. I had a friend and she had a YouTube channel. She did things that she feared every day. Like every day there was a new fear and like
sure.
Go do improv class. She had never smoked weed. Go smoke weed, like stuff like that. So she's like, I think we should do one together. And I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds great. And she's like, what I want to do is I want to crash a wedding. Okay. And I was like, okay. And I said, okay. I didn't sleep for 3 nights before this happened. Okay.
But it is funny because to pause for a moment, I would think of you as a person that would wedding crash, not maliciously.
Okay, wait.
But that like because it would be fun and you made friends.
Oh, I would love to be a +1 at a wedding that maybe wasn't expected, but then people are happy is there.
Yeah.
But to crash a wedding and because we were gonna record a video at this wedding, it all felt really uncomfortable, and I was praying that it wouldn't work. And then she's like, "Yeah, I called, and the Plaza has a wedding today," and I was like. No. And the Plaza's like one of the fanciest hotels in New York. We show up, we sit through the ceremony of these 2 strangers' weddings, and I'm looking around and I'm like, I feel like I'm going to be murdered. Like that's my level of anxiety.
Are people even noticing?
No one it's a big wedding. No one notices.
Yeah.
No one notices. And I'm like, okay, it's all good. And then I was like, okay, cocktail hour, and then we go, please. And she's like, no. We'll get like some names from the table. We'll sit at a table. And I was like, no. Like the trick kept on getting like escalating. And I was like, please stop. So then she takes these 2 names from a table that no one picked up, and we sit at the table, and she starts like asking people how they know the bride. And they were like, how about you? And then she was like, we went to college or something like that. And I was like, oh my God, this lie. I couldn't. And she was drinking champagne and eating. I couldn't do anything. And then I'm like, can we please go now?
You're constantly just like, I'm pulling the ripcord. I'm done.
Like the trick has been done, bro. And then she's like, no. We got to go say hi to the bride in the middle of the dance floor. And I was like, so we went and said,
wait, pause. Had you tried at all to create like a character to buy into? Because I have known you to be a person that can at the very least sometimes pretend to be somebody else in front of like waiters and things
yes,
like that.
I did. But I had so much anxiety that I couldn't play the character. I was like, I had like stage fright.
Because the pressure of this felt real, of like if you really break or if it really doesn't work, you are impacting what is supposed to be one of the most important days in someone's life.
Like, I can't imagine a more high stakes situation to ruin someone's day. Like, I don't want to be charming. I don't want to be anything. I just want to be like a fly on the wall. But then my friend was like, let's go say hi. And she pulls me and we say hi to this, and I felt horrible. And I was like, I gotta go. We gotta go now.
Oh my God.
And so we left. I felt terrible. She edits the video, puts it online, and then the plaza contacts her.
Oh shit.
The family's asking you to take this down. This is horrifying. And I'm like, yeah, no shit. I knew it. This was a terrible trick. Anyway, that's the worst trick I've ever been a part of. And to this day, I still feel guilty.
Wow. This is something I never knew about you, which is that for once in your life you didn't commit to the bit.
I did not commit. Because if it had been like, I don't know, a seminar, like I don't know, the Orthodontists of America seminar at the plaza, I would have pretended to be someone's wife.
That would have been a blast.
Yeah, I would have been like, I love braces.
If I'm going to invade a convention or something, pretending to be somebody that I'm not, I'm busting it in. I am going to do the open mic Q&A and try to do a question.
Oh my God, no. Well, actually, something like that has happened to me, which one time I had an interview for a job, and I had recently just gotten out of surgery like 2 days before, but I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to make like a big deal out of it. In the beginning of the interview, they were like, did you read the materials? And I said yes. And I think I had like glossed over the materials, but this was before that. Like, I did not remember anything. And they started asking me very specific questions, like quizzing me.
Oh.
And I was like, do I pretend my internet just cut out?
This is not too different from me breaking my own car.
Absolutely.
I want to be clear. This is not, now you acted like you were all high and mighty.
No, yeah.
But you're trying to fake Zoom hiccups.
Yeah.
now.
But wait, what would you call, I don't think there's a word for that type of trick. It's like when you put into a corner and you need to
Oh, that's just bullshitting, I guess, in my mind.
Bullshitting.
That's just bullshitting. A tried and true exercise in like needing to not interrupt the flow of things with your, like, I've become wiser to it now. Like you spoke earlier of my ability to, like, if I'm ignorant to something, just say I'm ignorant to it. That was an acquired skill that took a lot of humility. Instinctually, I think oftentimes people are taught to like show up the best they can show up. Saying you don't know something doesn't feel like that. So yeah, you admitting I didn't read the thing doesn't favor you in an interview, so you're inclined to not do it. You bullshit it.
Yeah, but I learned my lesson, and now I'm like devastatingly honest. But it's actually worked. I think people find honesty like that almost like a joke. They're like, oh my God, that's so funny.
There's a world where you can be so, like, I guess blunt honest is maybe the version of this you see most often, where if you're a person that always speaks with honesty, even if it's like just to get a joke or it's critical of others in some way, you can also be honest about your misgivings or things that are not right for you, and everybody treats it all the same. It's like a good camouflage for like, I didn't show up prepared very well.
Yeah, that do be right. Well,
if you're listening to this episode, my hope is that you're taking notes on how to be a deceitful little shit.
Yeah, that's the point of this podcast. How to be a deceitful POS.
It's less can I have a word, more can I have a double identity.
Yeah, actually, that sounds accurate. We should host a seminar.
Oh!
At the plaza. And the whole thing is people have to come and pretend to bullshit who they are.
Where we make a convention about how to trick people.
Yeah.
Into being someone that you're not by having a convention where everybody needs to show up as somebody that they're not.
I love it.
This feels like a Korean reality show that I have watched on Netflix.
That is like also feels like politics. So,
well,
God.
No, but just imagine we rent a banquet hall, we get 300 seats, and we tell people that they all need to come pay $120 and show up and sign their name on a card as a person they are not. And then the workshop is about how to develop the character you have presented to us today. I mean, I guess this is just actor shit.
But wait, I think half the people should be themselves. So then you have to discern who's acting and who isn't.
Oh, that's good. So at the end of this convention, there's a cheat sheet.
Yeah.
Or like a multiple choice sort of thing, and you have to put in your guesses for who was being real and who was being fake.
Exactly.
And there's like a prize. Maybe I'm making a game show now.
And the prize is like, a treat. And so we call this trick or treat.
That's good. I was thinking trick or eat, and that's like the winners get to go have a fancy dinner.
Oh, that's way better, actually.
That's not better.
I was thinking they were going to get like a cruise, like a weekend cruise, but I just realized we're hosting this, so it's not like we can offer a cruise. I think a treat is just like, it could be just a bag of candy.
You come pay $125, submit into this whole bit, and if you win, you get a bag of Reese's Pieces.
Honestly, brilliant. You pretend to be Reese Witherspoon, you get a bag of Reese's Pieces.
Oh, they have to only be like canonically accurate candies?
Yes.
So now we're using the budget correctly because we're going to have to do a lot of imports.
Exactly. God, why are we so nerdy? This is the dumbest bit.
No, this is the most creative thing we've done this entire hour.
That's actually very true.
This is us being hypothetical about what we can achieve in our life if we put our minds to it, Joanna.
We could achieve this.
This is very easy.
I've been watching the Olympics, and it's sort of depressing how I can't achieve anything I see.
Wait. Tell me an example.
Diving and running and gymnasticsing. And I'm like, I can't even pretend to begin to do any of this. And I will never. And that's the sad part. No matter how much I train, I will never be able to do any of that.
Not that I've ever been a physically capable human being or somebody that's worked hard for it. But you see these like teenagers that are achieving medals and you're like, oh, physically, I have too much like age on these bones to ever try and achieve anything in this.
Yeah.
And that's a sad mortality moment.
It's a sad mortality moment. Okay, wait. Going back to our trick.
What did you drop?
Honestly, I don't know. Oh, I think it's a piece of my light. Things break around me, and then I forget.
That's just, as if you're in like a bombing zone, just parts.
I don't know. I feel like I'm basically...
You just have various room detritus falling down.
I'm basically a bombing zone. But I was watching the Olympics, and I noticed, I was like, I looked at a flag, and I was like, that's not a flag. Someone I was with was like, oh, yeah, no, but that's Russia. And I'm like, why don't they have the Russian flag? And it's like, oh, because they fucking doped and tricked their way into winnings in the past with like steroid use and I don't know, whatever the else fuck they do. So now they can compete, but not under the flag of Russia. And I was like, oh my God, you little sneaky little nightmare, Russia.
God, the most harmful thing they did was do some doping at the Olympics.
That's the only harmful thing they've ever done.
That's it. Past that, what a joy.
Their pole vaulter is just jacked up on dope, and that's the only thing that I am afraid of Russia doing.
Did you see somebody disqualify themselves from the high jump because their dong hit the bar?
Yeah, and you know what? I think that that's the best thing that could have happened to him because now he has a career in maybe public appearances.
At the very least, he has a great Tinder profile pic now.
Listen, maybe this is a callous thing to say, but I don't think pole vaulting is like, if there's a hierarchy for like the coolest sports of the Olympics, I'd say pole vaulting, it's down there.
Let me connect this to the theme. What do you think are the sports that tricked the Olympics into believing they were a sport?
The fucking shooting one.
You don't like the
shooting one? Are you fucking kidding me? No, I don't like the shooting one. I don't like the shooting one. And then I don't like the one, and this is a winter Olympic sport. I forgot the name, but it's just people like cleaning the floor as something moves on the ice. Curling is,
hot take.
Curling is Swiffering.
I like the shooting only because every person in the shooting division looks like a Pokemon trainer you played in a Pokemon game.
I mean, it is fun. It is fun to see the personalities.
They're all such characters.
Yeah, they're like the Turkish guy. He was like, yeah, I just picked up a gun 6 years ago when my wife divorced me. And I don't know, man. Versus
like the other people that have like dentist glasses with like multiple lenses all along the front.
I feel like if you go into the Olympics and you're not going to win, might as well have a little viral moment, you know? And I think the pole vaulting guy had a little viral moment.
Just let his dong hit it.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, we never figured out how to end this show.
Wow. How do we end it?
I don't know. It's just pilots for you. Sometimes you just say, I'm done.
Maybe you just say, hey, Kris, I have a lot to do today, and I gotta go and live my life.
But no matter what, it is going to sound like we got bored with each other.
I mean, I am bored with you right now.
All right. Well, we'll solve it in the future things. I'll see you later, Joanna.
Bye.